Chapter 63:46. This was a good example for Simon. As long as Steve left the United States, he could let other uncontrollable descendants go overseas for experience, and eventually send all the threatening people around him away. So, he said to Steve, "After we return to the United States, I will hold a family meeting and announce your decision at the meeting. You should also explain it to others and set an example for them." Steve said without hesitation, "Father, rest assured, I will." Simon nodded and asked him, "By the way, Steve, if you want to go abroad for experience, which country do you want to go to the most?" Steve's only goal in his heart is China, but he doesn't want to show it too directly. So he thought for a moment and said, "Father, my idea is that the markets that are worth my in-depth understanding and in-depth cultivation are the European and Asian markets." "That's right." Simon agreed, except for the United States. The countries ranked 2nd to 8th in the world are all in Asia and Europe. As the heir of the Rothschild family, you naturally have to choose a market second only to the United States. Steve hurriedly said, "If that's the case, then China is the most suitable. After all, it is the second largest economy in the world." "Yeah." Simon nodded and said, "Arranging the second-in-command of the Rothschild family to go to China to work personally is enough to demonstrate our attention to the Chinese market, and may help to increase our business there significantly." Steve immediately took over and said, "Father, since you said so, then I'll go to China. Our family office in Asia was previously located in Singapore. I think we can simultaneously establish a new family office in mainland China, and I will be directly responsible for it." Simon agreed without hesitation and said readily, "No problem, this matter will be left to you to be fully responsible for. After this family office is established, the family will provide you with an additional $50 billion in exclusive funds to develop the family's business there. This money is also at your discretion." Simon now likes his son very much. As long as he doesn't think about his position as the patriarch, he can give him full responsibility and management of all the Rothschild family's overseas family offices. Not to mention that all he wants is to establish a new family office in mainland China. The $50 billion was nothing to the Rothschild family. Simon had already planned that the Rothschild family would pay $25 billion of the $50 billion, and then take out $25 billion from the fund managed by the family. In other words, half of the money for Steve's trial and error would be paid by others. If he made money, he would give them 25% of the total profit, and he could get another 25% of the extra profit. If he lost money, he would think of them as sharing the risk for the Rothschild family. Anyway, they had invested in countless projects with Rothschild over the years, and some of the projects had gains and losses, but the overall rate of return was still considerable. These investors were also very smart, and the share of $25 billion would be distributed to each investor. Compared with the trillion-dollar fund pool, the loss of $25 billion would be evenly distributed, and the loss of each investor would only be 1%, so no one would care. Steve was also very happy. $50 billion was already a very considerable amount of money. He thinks his father felt that he had performed well this time. $50 billion was the startup capital given by the ancient emperor when he drove his son out to be a lord. At that time, he could be at ease to be the head of his family in the United States. He would go to China, where the emperor is far away, and get close to Charlie and pave the way for being the head of the family in the future. In this way, the father and son could get what they needed and everyone is happy. So, he immediately said loudly, "Father, don't worry. I will not let you down. I will go all out to make our business in China reach new heights."